Okay, so we have already started with processing blocks. Now, processing blocks, as we have seen, there are various kinds of blocks: event, dialogue, and procedures. Now, three categories: event and dialogue and procedures. These are used by keyword event, and it ends with the start of next event, like start of selection. Okay. Um, uh, Selection screen. These are also events as well. Okay. So thing is, processing blocks are a useful way to contain your logic. In If an appropriate event block is implemented for the runtime environment, the event block gets executed. Otherwise, it has no effect. So event blocks will not be executed in ABAP unless the associated event or a condition is not activated. Okay. So what are types of events that we have? We have already seen selection screen events, line selection, screen selection, right? We have screen events, list events, reporting events, constructor events. Load of program. Now this is triggered once whenever you load your program. And except for the class pools, uh, this applies to all programs except for the class related components. So the statements in this block allow you to initialize the data of the program. We've already seen this reporting event because our programs start with the keyword report. There's initialization, which is type, and initialization is also one of the keyword. Start of selection is one of the keyword. Get table is one. End of selection is also used. The corresponding event is triggered only when executable program is running. Executable report program that we actually run. Initialization is used to initialize the data. Start of selection, this event plays a leading role as standard event. So you can say that this is your first processing block that you can actually use. This means that all statements that have not been specifically assigned to another event are automatically inserted to start of selection. End of selection is used when logical database is used in program or to mark the end of data processing. This is the last of the events to be triggered. Of all the events, this is the last, okay, in precedence. Selection screen. The corresponding events are triggered by runtime when selection screen is processed in executable programs, module pools, or function groups. We'll see function groups ahead. Selection screens can be prepared and user actions are evaluated in the event block. User actions can be input, can be record, updating, or reading from the table. Okay. List events. Now for list events, these are the keywords: top of page, end of page, at line selection, at user command. User command can be a click. Okay. Or user command can be an input. The corresponding events are triggered by runtime environment in executable programs. Module pool programs of function groups. While a classical list is being generated, the corresponding events are triggered by runtime environment in executable programs. These events in executable programs, module pool programs, or function groups, while a classical list is being generated or if the user performs an action on the displayed list. It can be anything. On display dates, it can be a print or it can be a going back or exiting the program. Okay. Screen events. Process before output. These are the keywords. Process after output, after input, process on help request, process on value request. These event blocks are defined in screen flow logic as opposed to ABAP program in a screen flow. Now, these basically are used for events like output, input, help request, value request. Okay. So these are basically are helping for the screens. The screen flow logic controls the processing of the screens in SAP. Process before output event prepares the layout of the screen, and process after input, process on help request, and process on value events evaluate the user inputs. Now, evaluation is whether the input is correct or not. Okay. Or whether the input is of the required size, like material master data should be of 18 characters, whether it is 18 characters or not. Those are user input evaluation. Dialog modules are implemented in executable programs, module pools and function groups between module and end module. Now, these are the keywords, module and end module. Like event, dialog modules have no local data and no parameter interface. A data declaration and dialog is also added to the global data. Dialog modules are called from screen flow logic with module statement, this statement. Okay. Procedures. Now, ABAP programmers have a lot to do with procedures. Procedures have a local data area and can have parameter interface. They can be called internally from within the same program, externally from another ABAP program. Procedures provide reusable software blocks. Now, procedures are your coding blocks that you will store in your repo, and that can be pushed, okay, to your ABAP. Now, this is, I believe, let's take it up in the next one. Let's stop it here for today. Okay.